ay tingin sa San Miguel. Buong mundo'y humahanga, San Miguel. Habang buhay kang kararaman, San Miguel, San Miguel, San Miguel. San Miguel, ikaw at ako ay tingin sa San Miguel. Buong mundo'y humahanga, San Miguel. Habang buhay kang kararaman, San Miguel, San Miguel, San Miguel.
Break through a world where big data beats your worries. A world that gives you priority when innovations come. This is the GigaLife on Smart Signature. Simplified by the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. The choice is simple. Move up to Smart Signature and make your mark. How do I know it's meant to be? Simple, smart ako.
This is an eternity of basketball. We welcome everyone to episode 49 ng ating show. And of course, an eternity of basketball, not just on Facebook Live. We're all over the place right now. You can take us on the go. We are on Spotify, and you can listen to most of our episodes on Spotify as well as on Anchor. And don't forget that Eternity of Basketball is now part of the Globally Ballin network, where you can also view the Globally Ballin podcast. That's a show where we take a surface-level view of sports and opportunities around the world. Listen to that on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, and more. And of course, catch our other network podcasts on the Globally Ballin network. Hang Time with Cassie G is one of them, a show where Cassie G, Cathy Gormley, joins key figures in the world of volleyball. So dami niyan papasok dyan. They're going to talk about volleyball and other matters on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, and more. Episode 49 of An Eternity of Basketball is now underway. Ako po si Charlie Cuna, kasama ko Sid Ventura and Noel Zarate as usual. When you hear the name Pumaren, it's almost synonymous already with Philippine basketball. Kasi ang dami nilang na-achieve sa kanila. No? Not just one, there's two, there's three, there's four names that come out when you say Pumaren. This man that's going to be our guest on this evening was a national team mainstay for the NCC squad back in the 80s. Had a 13-year productive PBA career. Very, very smart, tough point guard who could shoot the ball from three-point range and drive to the basket. Also a very fruitful coaching career up to today. So he's still doing it, and we're going to talk about all of that with Coach Franz Pumaren. Coach, thank you for joining us on An Eternity of Basketball. Welcome to our show.
Hi, good evening, Noel, Charlie, Sid. Good evening. It's my pleasure. Good evening to all our viewers right now. Actually, correct me if I'm wrong. That's why I said yes, because I'm the guest tonight because of 90s basketball, right?
That's right.
Kahit
80s and
80s pa,
90s
Coach.
basketball, yeah. May mga 70s na rin, Coach, pero hindi ka kasama doon. And in fact, well, a lot of our guests have talked about your father as well. Of course, your father was a player and was a coach as well in his stint. Tapos, of course, you're there, and you have your brothers also who played the game and also coached the game right now. And obviously, we want to get into the nitty-gritty. How did it all start for Franz Pumaren? It is a basketball playing family. Obviously, there was an influence from your father, but is that really why you started playing basketball when you were a child? Is it because of your kuya or your dad, your cousins? How did it happen?
Well, of course, growing up, I think it's part and parcel of during those times. Now you get ostracized if you don't play basketball, because as we all know, every summer, every corner, there's a basketball goal, so you need to play it. And of course, partly then major factor is my dad is a coach. In fact, in case you don't know, I used to be the ball boy when he was coaching. That was a time when he was coaching sila Tito Varela, even
Kwento nga yun.
Yes.
Anthony Tasalia, sila Eto Lobo. I was the ball boy then. So I was exposed to basketball at an early age.
Ilan kayo magkakapatid, Coach? Is it just the three of you? It's Dindo, you, and
The eldest is a nurse, is based in the States. He played high school, but I guess the eldest and Derek gave us an opportunity to excel. Kaya nag-retire na lang sila ng basketball kagad. Yan kami ni Dindo kaya siguro they didn't pursue that path.
Okay.
Coach, how old were you when you were a ball boy for the UE Warriors?
Probably 10, 11, mga ganyan, 10, 11. Parang I enjoy doing it. In fact, what's so funny, every time I give them water or what, the players, syempre, saan po coach, they don't wanna ask me for water. Sila pa kumukuha. But anyway, that opportunity probably opened my eyes that aside maybe that I will enjoy this sport, I think I could excel. I just have to concentrate and try to get the good qualities of each player.
May paborito ka ba doon, Coach, na UE player? So,
Actually,
did you have a favorite UE player?
Yeah, ang paborito ko nun si Emerly Gaspi.
Okay.
Emerly Gaspi. He was the star player of my dad then. Of course, si Tito Varela, I could recall, he used to teach me with these karate moves, with this chako. He's a black belt. So
that's
before
right.
Nandun ako, he'll teach me once in a while. So those are my fake players during those times.
Coach, gusto ko lang matanong kasi matagal ko I never actually got to ask you in all our years na magkaibigan. Yung jump shot niyo was ibang klase yung forma ng jump shot na yun. So, how did you develop that shot? And then it's very effective actually.
Actually, even my players, my former players, they're teasing me. Sila Cholo Villanueva, sila T.Y. Tang, they're always teasing me about my form. But I guess during those times growing up, hindi pa masyadong fundamentally sound siguro yung tao. Ang kaya ko, the main concept siguro, or like what I teach my players, it doesn't matter about the form. It's in constant practice. Siguro, classic example is Jamal Wilkes. Hindi picture perfect yung jump shot niya. But pumapasok So that's my philosophy then. It's not your traditional picture perfect jump shot. Kanina lang yung Noong Chola, nag-forward sa akin yung advertisement. Sabi niya, Coach, ang ganda ng jump shot mo.
Tama yun. Kita-kita yung Kita-kita yung isang picture yung na Magnolia diba yung tumitira. That's right. How about PBA naman, Coach? When you were or the Mika, when you were first exposed to the Mika, the PBA, who were your idols? Who were the guys that you looked up to? Aside from, siyempre, Emerly Gaspi, Tito Varela, they've both been on our show. They talked about your dad. But how about NBA also? Did you have NBA influences when you were a child growing up playing basketball?
Actually, what's so funny, my dad kasi used to coach Crispa in the Mika. So, syempre, automatic ang affiliation namin is Crispa, But during those times, ang paborito ko is Francis Arnaiz. So, si Arnaiz. And then, of course, I don't know if you still recall yung si Ray Franco.
Yes.
He was playing for Crispa din. And disclaimer lang, bata talaga ako nun. Baka sabihin niyo, malaki na ako nun. So, talaga, vivid lang yung mga, when yung memories ko about them. Kaya, I know how they play. And when I was playing for Lazara sa college ball, we used to play against Toyota. Ganyan kami competitive yun. So, I used to play against Arnaiz, then sila Jaworski. And syempre, kahit pa paano, you have to pattern your game kung sino same size ka. Then sila Fabiosa. Those players really influence us. Kami growing up. So, especially pareho kami mga point guards.
Okay.
Yeah, speaking of Jaworski, Coach. Sorry. Speaking of Jaworski, Coach, may nagtatanong na viewer natin right now, is it true daw ba na your father discovered Sonny Jaworski for UE?
Yeah,
At sinus-
I think
sinusundo daw kayo ni Dindo nung bata kayo sa school?
yes, that's an advantage probably on my part. Jaworski kasi grew up in Pandacan. My dad, is from there. He was the one who recommended Jaworski to Coach Baby Dalupan. Kaya if you try to look at the history, me playing against Jaworski, I have so much respect kay Sonny Jaworski, kay Big J. Never niya akong hinampas ng malakas.
Talaga.
Players, babagayin ako, siguro tapos pag makikita niyang ako pala na bangga niya, mag-smile lang sa akin. But
Okay,
just happened, but never in my entire 13 years not naman 13 years ko nakalaban siya, but during the time that he was playing, my teammates, yung talagang hampasin niya, ganun na lang di ba? One game that I can't forget, I don't know if you can recall this. I was playing for NCC. We were playing in Ultra against Ginebra. Jaworski was going for the rebound. Si Jeff Moore got the rebound. On his way down, hit the mouth of Jaworski. Bloody yung talagang grabe yung tama ni Jaworski. So we went out, okay. He went to Medical City, malapit sa Ultra. Then he went back to the game. We were up probably 18, 19, last 8 minutes, 7 minutes to go. It was a big talagang impact on the part. Kasi imagine mo si Jeff Moore, unang drive ni Jeff Moore, hinampas ni Jaworski kagad. After that, kada nilayap si Big J, parang parting of the Red Sea. Do you believe natalo pa kami? So, why am I telling this? This is a classic example.
Isn't that the game? You never say die game. They call that the never say die birth.
Yeah.
That's when it was born daw because of that comeback ni Sonny J sa game na yun.
You can feel the energy na when he came back, naka-bandage yung mouth niya. Sigawan na yung mga tao, Jaworski, di ba? So, why I'm telling this? Because yung physicality ng game ni Jaworski, talaga it showed there. Yung gaganon lang, binibitawan nila Dennis ni Jeff Moore yung ball. Unfortunately, hindi ako mabot sa ganon. So,
okay ka. Thanks to your dad.
Pero not like yung si Rambo, si Vic Sanchez, 5 speeches ang inabot ko dyan. Another rugged player na hindi ako masyado pinapangga, or not at all, si Rudy Distrito. Because he appreciated so much because my dad would discover him from Bacolod. Hindi ba kaya si Rudy, wala-wala. Kaya, parang naging meal ticket ko.
Coach, ang swerte mo isipin mo, Jaworski at saka Distrito, hindi ka binibigyan. Ang laking bagay sa career mo nun. Kaya ka rin tumagal ng 13 years.
Accidentally nahampas ako ng malakas ni Rudy. He will just say, sorry. Okay lang.
Pero Coach, let's go back to nung high school kayo. You started out in La Salle, I believe, kasama mo sila Jong Chico, Elmer Reyes. I believe you're playing all together at the time?
Si Jong Chico, yes. Then now the governor of Negros, si Bubong Daxton. I don't know if you can recall si Arnel Maños. He was a big name player before. Siya yung second coming of Jaworski raw. Kasi yung style ng laro niya parang si Jaworski. But it's just, it's just sad na he suffered the knee injury. During that time, yung injury, yung ACL, talagang it's either mag-retire ka ng maaga or it will take 2 years, 3 years for you to recover. So, yung time na yun, what's so funny playing the college ball, no? I was a member of the last team of La Salle that played in the NCAA, and I was part of the first team that played in the UAAP.
Yes, right.
Yes. Baka sabihin naman yung bakit masyado nagtagal na yun, no? Anyway, another funny story in the 80s, no? We were playing against Letran. Yung Letran na yun, puro what you can call talagang veterano, mama. Imagine mo, ito si Guerra, Dukot, Baldomero. Laging ang malas ko, ang laging sinasalubong ko, Siko ni Ito Isigera. Saka, pag nag-fast break, biglang, kasi I was young then, rookie, kinukutusan ako niyan parate. But ang funny, nung nagsama kami sa RP team, siya naging roommate ko pa. And then, kaya ko may inabot yung UAAP because during the time, the program of the national team started. So, di ba, yung NCC. So, we used to travel a lot.
Yeah.
So, I used to take lang 9, 12 units lang ang course ko niya. Diba, there was a time na we arrived from a trip, then the next day, we leave to another country na naman.
Right.
Inabot ko yung 86 na UAAP. Then actually, I made it to do. May disclaimer din kagad, baka sabihin niyo hindi ako nag-aaral kaya inabot ako ng 6 years No, because
Memorable lang 86 memorable lang 86 UAAP sa amin, coach sa amin tatlo. So UP kaming lahat, kaya 86 UAAP is very memorable. The three of us, kasi nag-champion kami noon. Going back to yung last year mo sa NCAA, I was reading this blog kanina, I was doing research on your time in La Salle. There was a story there, during your game against Letran, the crowd was really unruly daw, and you got hit by something daw, projectile from the crowd sa yata ng ulo mo or sa tenga mo.
Yes.
What was that like?
Those were the days. Pag sinabi mo ng NCAA talagang medyo, how do I, what's the politically correct word there? Medyo talagang unruly, magulo. Not like today, kasi nga because of probably of the social media, hindi, friend ko sa FB yan, friend ko sa IG. Then talagang paglaro, talagang magulo. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not trying to parang sabihin na masama naman yung letra. But during that time, lahat ng sabi mo pwede iba to sa amin, binato. Eggs, raw egg, golf ball, spark plug, ping pong ball na nilagyan ng bato na with sand na tinate, yan ganyan. So it was really what's this, parang students were so involved, even the alumni, grabe. So talagang that minsan nakakamiss din yung ganung atmosphere, pero it was pretty scary. Talagang nagkagulo. It was first time it happened kasi I think up to now ang partition of the crowd there is, let's say yung Letran behind our bench, then yung Lasal opposite. So binabato kami. So during the course of the game, we had to transfer yung bench sa other side. So every time we report kami, ikot kami ng malayo. That bad. I still remember the score. I think it was 36-30 when they stopped the game. We were up by 6.
Wow.
Grabe, no? Consistent.
Ito yung year
guess natin
na
nag-NC.
Walang dineclare na champion because nga nagkagulo. Am I right, Coach?
Yes. Magulo yun actually, ang contender niyon is kami, Sambeda, and Letran. But the favorite team then was Letran because they were really solid. We lost to Sambeda in the first round, but Sambeda lost to Letran, but we beat Letran. Papunta na ito sa ganun. Maganda yung atmosphere niyo talaga yung college rivalry. Diba?
Pero Gracie, I was saying a while ago, grabe yung consistency, no? Frankie Lim was also saying, and the other guys who guested na NCAA, spark plug, raw egg, yung rotten eggs, saka yung golf balls talaga. Yun talaga yung pinagbabato sa inyo. Saka sa mga kotse nyo, yari daw sa labas yung kotse, basta may sticker ka ng school mo, yari ka daw sa kalaban.
It happened to the wife of Nemi Villegas. I don't know what happened. How come she was seated behind our bench? Kagaya yung sinabi ko, yung time na yun, behind the bench, the crowd of Letran, opposite side yung Lasal. I don't know why she was seated behind our bench. So somebody threw a raw egg, a rotten egg. Yung wife ni Coach Nemi ang tinamaan yun.
Wow. Grabe yun. Yeah. Yak
Yes,
yun, yak.
I think may mga insidente pa naglalaban, nagtutukan na, naglabas ng baril, yung mga ganon.
Players hindi nagpapansinan. You know, we see there's certain, I won't mention the name of the rival player, rival team. You know, pag sa corridor, nagkita, nagbabanggaan eh. Doon pala mag-start na kagad ng free throw.
Grabe, no?
Players are too nice. Friend ko sa IG, friend ko sa FB. So,
Saka marami na rin takot ngayon, coach, kasi everything you do is on camera. So you will get caught. There's no escaping it nowadays. Yan ang problema. Kahit yung mga pasimpleng tira, ang daming angulo na rin sa court ngayon ng mga cameras. Kaya yari na talaga lahat.
Nakatingin ko, mas body-body yung mga player ngayon eh.
Yes.
No, yeah.
Actually, looking back, I think it helped me become a better player. Kasi na wala kami sa NCAA, wala na kaming tournament. So we ended up joining yung mga commercial leagues. So I guess dyan nag-improve kami lalo. Especially on my side, I can speak for myself. Dahil kalaban namin yung puro talagang senior players na. We played in that PBA, Interclub. Puro club teams kalaban namin, hindi college team. So I guess it really helped me mature much faster.
Coach, tanong ko lang, saan ka naglaro ng high school varsity?
Sa UAAP.
So you played UE, okay. You played UE also. Alright. Tapos, pero bakit, why did you choose LaSalle to go to college?
Actually, I was recruited there.
Okay.
I was recruited. Some other schools were trying to recruit me rin. So, yun ang naging probably destiny to go there.
And who were your teammates in LaSalle during that stint? Yung mga, syempre, I know a lot of them became your teammates for many years, no?
Saka wala kasing liga eh. Walang liga rin ng time na yung LaSalle after NC eh.
Two of my teammates there no longer here. The late Alfie Almario, I don't know if you still remember him. The late Teddy Alfarero.
Teddy Alfarero, yeah.
Then of course, then si Junichi Turi, of course, Jong Yuchiko, Mardel Maños, Capio Moravete, yung governor of Negros now, Aldo Perez. I guess you will
Aldo.
him.
He's watching right now. Aldo Perez is watching now, and so is your idol Emer Legaspi is also watching now.
Si Perez nung rookie year ko binubuli dahil siyang senior. Nag-guide sa amin. Sila Greg Pichara, yun naman nag-guide sa amin. Ayun ang mga kuya namin. Nag-mature ako right away.
Ang message sa'yo ni Emer is, hello Franz, malayo na narating mo. Happy for you. That's the message that Emer wants to give you.
Godson ng daddy ko yan. Very soft-spoken, plays hard. Kaya nga sinasabi ko, if the players nowadays will just emulate yung players before, even during my time or even prior to that, mas lalo sila siguro maging dedicated to what they're doing.
Well, that's one of the reasons why we put up this show, so that people, the younger generation, can appreciate Franz Pumaren as a player over Franz Pumaren as a coach. But going back to yung pagiging player niya, of course, nung 82, sila Manong Derek actually was part of that ABC squad, youth squad. How did you get recruited to the NCC program also?
Well, actually, when Ron was invited to be the coach or to train the coaches here or to train the national team, hindi pa mausip Google yun, wala pa YouTube and everything. So, he's been watching mga college games, commercial games. Then, during one of the games, he was the one who mentioned right away to the late Henry Kuhangkot and my dad na, who's that guy? Because, syempre, si Ron just arrived. He doesn't even know the surname of my dad. Pilo lang tawag niya, di ba? So, when I was playing, they saw the potential that sabi niya, I need somebody as an extension, di ba? As a leader inside and outside the court. So I guess that's the reason. That's why I was able to join that program. Then, alam mo naman ng daddy ko, masyadong, sabi niya, he's my son. Ah. I didn't know he was your son when I saw him. Sabi niya. So, I'm interested to get him. Then, nakita si Hector Calma din doon, those one of the games. Then, isa rin is si Louis Brill, di ba?
Right.
Nagkaroon naman yan, ng constant, what you call this, parang selection of players. Yung tamang chemistry, tamang composition, si the late Jerome Cueto, I guess we still remember him. He was also part of the program. But when they feel na hindi suited to the, to the program of Coach Ron, napalitan. Even Dong Ramos was invited to that program. Al Solis,
Leo Austria.
Yes, Leo Austria. So it's really a process. Eh. Probably he'll get new guys, try it out, then we'll see siguro na there's somebody not really better than the guy na ni-recruit, but he feels that he's suited for that particular role.
Correct. Anong year ka bale, Coach, naging NCC player?
Actually, it's NCC, the tag NCC started in 84 because that was the team that we used, the commercial team in the PBA. But the program started 81.
Okay.
So I was part of the 81 national team already. In fact, I was there in the ABC 81. That was held in India, Calcutta. That's the first time I saw a giant. I don't know if you remember si Okayama.
Yeah.
In Japan?
7'9". And then
7'8", 7'9". Oh.
And then another giant. I don't know if you still remember him from India. They have a player na parang 7'2", something. And what's so depressing when he was playing in leather shoes because walang kasyang sapatos.
Wow.
Yeah. Nakwento ni Onji yan. Nakwento ni Onji de la Cruz. Nakita niya sa Asian Games. May butas daw yung sapatos niya kasi para makalabas yung toes niya because wala raw kasyang wala raw kasyang sapatos sa kanya.
So I guess the program started talaga 81, then 82, 83. So tuloy-tuloy yun eh.
So batang-bata ka nun, Coach. So you're 17, about 17 years old, no?
15.
15? 15.
Sige.
Mamaya pabata yan mamaya.
Pero yung only frustration namin, nagkaroon ng yung EDSA revolution. We were supposed to represent Asia in the Olympics. Eh. We worked so hard. Sayang yun. In fact, if you can look at it, we were advanced sa Asia in terms of trying to get naturalized players. Kasi we started that eh. I don't know about sa Europe. Alam ko sa Europe, it's not totally kahit walang blood, they will naturalize. Tayo, as para sa in Asia, we were the first one to do that. We started that in 83 in Hong Kong. Then all of a sudden, syempre, China protested, di ba?
Right. That was frustrating for us in 1983 because you were undefeated but you ended up in 9th place because of that disqualification no ating mga
disqualification.
That's right.
Si Derek retired na siya din eh. He was playing for he was part of the coaching staff already eh. So syempre tinanggal namin yung mga naturalized players natin. So no choice, pumayag sila magpalit. Alam nga naman we'll get players pa from Manila. So si Ron asked Derek to suit up para lang may additional work natin. So we were at that time, in fairness sa program natin yung time na yun. We introduced naturalized. Ngayon, everybody's doing that. Imagine even Russia has its own naturalized player. Diba? So,
pero sayang yung 1983 na yun.
Kasi ang first option namin in 83, not first option, ang main goal is to make it to the 84 Olympics, which will be, I think it was held in LA.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles yan.
Yes. And then I feel kung pinayagan yung naturalized players yung time na yun. I think easily coming representative ng Asia. Philippines will represent Asia. So yun ang ang parang disappointing lang. Same thing din yung 85, 86, dapat Olympics din. But, unfortunate
Right.
because of the EDSA revolution, natigil yung program.
But
Just
at
want
least
to let
yung
you know na si Jimmy Manansala is also watching right now. Ang dami mga ex-pros that always grace our show.
Isa pa yan, kasi kasama ko yan na yung player siya ng papa ko, yan din yung ako rin ng water boy nila.
That's right. Oo nga, UE nga rin din pala.
Ayan na, Manansala, yan si Emer. May brother pa si Emer, in case you don't know. Older brother.
Yeah, si Bebet.
Yeah, si Bebet.
Bebet.
Beginning to doubt all to si Charlie. Kilala yun.
Kasi si Bebet, naging tatay ni Marlon Legaspi yun eh. Naglaro din para
tatay
sa
ni
San
Marlon
Miguel.
kasi. That's right.
Yes.
That's the only reason I know. Hindi ko nakita maglaro si Bebet, coach. Nakwento lang sa akin.
Ako rin.
Okay, ako naman nakita yun because of me being the ball boy. So they used to, sila Jimmy, they used to eat in the house. My dad, medyo magaling magluto eh. So normally weekends is bahay mga yan. Kaya ako, sabi ko nga, even if I tell my kids, if after how many years, if I can turn back time, I still want to be a basketball player. I really enjoy what I'm doing. I think you players nowadays should try to look back and look at the attitude of the old players, 80s, 90s players, even the 70s players, the way they approach the game.
You won't get any objections from the three of us. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. Coach, tanong ko lang, dapat 1983 nga, so nabigo nga kayo because of that disqualification, natalo tayo ABC. Pero a couple of years later, nakabawi naman kayo. You won an ABC tournament.
Yes.
You beat China and Korea in the process. How much of vindication did you feel? No? Because you were already part of that 83 team na parang hindi naman tayo dinaya, pero parang medyo underhanded yung ginawa sa atin. Tapos itong 85, finally you won. You got it. So what was the feeling at that time? How do you remember it?
This is a classic example that yung long preparation plays a big role in the success of a program. We cannot, sa akin na my own opinion. Kasi yung States, even yung Europeans, they're so talented. So easily, kahit 1 week, 2 weeks, you just regroup them, they're still going to be a powerhouse. But if you will base it on what happened to our program then, we were parang for the last 3-4 years, it's the same team. Probably we'll just replace 1, 2, 3 players. So right after that 83, we didn't stop it. That's why we joined the PBA. That was the 84. And during the first conference, nagkaroon kami ng reality check. Kala namin we're the best. But playing against those veteran teams, sila Atoy ko, sila Arnie Duartes, we were not successful right away. It took a while. So again, the same thing like what I mentioned, it's a hard process, it's a long process, but down the road, you will see the success of the team. 84, then 85, we still, I think we won a crown as a PBA. Then preparation 85, we joined several tournaments overseas. We joined the Interclub. We played against the mighty US team. I played, I'm quite lucky. I played against the dad of Steph Curry, Rafael Addison, Chuck Person, David Robinson. See, David Robinson, he used to hang out in our room. Kasi I'm always the parang chaperone o guide ng mga natural players natin. So, I take care of Dennis Steele. So, every time we travel, si Coach Ron always assigned me to be his roommate. So, si David Robinson is about 18, 19 years old. He's always there. Alam mo naman sa States, di ba, college, they don't get that much allowance. So, he's there. Then still, we just order food for him, give him stuff, dahil we were sponsored by companies. And memorable din yung 85 na yun. Ang nag-champion is a team from Yugoslavia led by Petrovic.
Petrovic.
Yeah. So, okay, we played against Brazil, against Sicily and everything.
Italy.
It was, experience. Italy, yes, Banco de
You
Roma.
beat Banco de Roma, tinalo ninyo di ba?
Yes, we beat Brazil. So it was a learning experience for us. Prior to that, we played in an Asian interclub. Tapos we played in funny story. So we were in Malaysia. Let's say interclub. As usual, I'm the roommate of Dennis Steele. So I'm supposed to be taking care of him, make sure that he follows all the rules and regulations. So I don't know what happened, but one night he asked me, he was telling me, Franz, let's go out. Let's see the nightlife here. So we were all dressed up. We went down the lobby. Upon opening ng elevator ng lobby, nandun si Ron, nandun si Henry Cuanco. And Ron was saying, oh, where are you going? No, we're gonna eat here in the lobby. All dressed up, we're gonna eat? Yes. We were fined $100 to $200 ata eh. So anyway, we won that championship in Asia Interclub. Maganda dun sa tournament kasi yun, even the Asian ball clubs, they have their own imports eh. Kaya it was very competitive. Then we went to 85 to Barcelona. Then coming from Barcelona, just 1 day or 2 days lang ata, we flew. I can't recall if it's Jones Cup first or Barcelona. But anyway, we went to Jones Cup. We won the tournament sa Jones Cup. I don't know if you're aware. After we beat the US team 85, the following year, US team sent a all-star cast looking for us. Sila shot everything yun because they want to get even. But anyway, yung 86 that we won, that's supposed to be an 85 edition eh. But because it was January, kaya parang akala ng iba 86, but that's an 85 edition.
So they call it the 85-86 nga. The 85-86 ABC. Parang gano'n yung tawag nila.
Langanin yun, December 26 to January 3 yun eh. Parang doon na kayo nag-New Year eh.
And what's so nice about being the number one team there? We played in Malaysia. Alam naman natin predominantly Chinese community yun. So when we played against China, talagang parang hostile crowd. But looking back, it's not naman China ang kalaban namin dun, it's Korea.
Korea, right?
Korea beat China yun eh. Ito parang icing na lang itong sa China. And I guess again, modestly speaking, that was my best best year playing in a international competition.
Yeah, maganda nga laro mo. That famous game nga when we won, yung Chip Engeland hit a bunch of 3-point shots. And then Alan kay Dick, Samuel Lintaus.
That was in Jones Cup.
Jones Cup yun, Jones Cup pala, I was talking about that. You played really well there also. Nakascore ka rin doon ng isa, di ba? Nakashoot ka rin ng tres doon. I mean, how was it playing with this bunch of guys? You're together all the time. You also stayed in the NCC quarters, no? At the time?
Yes.
So talagang magkasama kayo halos
every day.
24/7, yeah, for so many years, di ba? You're together all the time, and that's the best, no, system talaga, coach. I mean, when you were saying it, you have to be always together, immersed in all these battles together, no?
It takes time talaga to develop that. Kagaya si Jeff Moore, alam ko na, when he goes back there, we just throw the lab, di ba? Dennis Steele.
Amuyan lang talaga, tinginan lang, no?
Yes.
Yun na yun eh.
So, my roommate naman sa Jones Cup, si Chip Engeland.
Okay.
Now, I was about to ask something about Chip Engeland din, Coach Franz, kasi ngayon, sikat na shooting coach ng time na yun. Did you have any inkling that he would become that kind of yung magiging shooting coach, or did he help anybody sa team improve their shooting already? Kung kayo lang?
Well, I didn't really foresee him to be talagang part of a team, of an NBA team. No? Probably he'll be having his own school. Just like si Dennis Hill, I don't know if it's still active. No, he has this big man's old school basketball camp.
Okay.
But si Chip, alam naman natin na talagang, has the potential. He can really shoot. Talagang siyang what we call it talagang picture perfect na shooter. But I know he will become down the road kasi hindi pa uso yung tinatawag natin ngayon skills coach. Basta we know that he can teach, he can coach, but I'm quite happy we're very much happy for Chip. That's why sometimes I used to see him during games in the NBA if I watch the games. Kaya yun, I know him very well kasi he was my roommate.
Right. Pero grabe rin yung na-achieve ninyo, no? That team you played against, the Jones Cup game I was saying, no? You played against guys who eventually went to the NBA. Again, also, no? Like you mentioned earlier, sila Robinson, sila Addison. Ito naman sila Tommy Amaker, sila Jay Billas, who's the number one analyst now in the US college basketball, di ba? Harold Presley and all these guys, no? Kenny Gattison. You played against them, but if you were to look at it, coach, if you can name for us maybe 3 or 4 games, what are your most memorable, yung kumbaga the greatest games ng NCC para sa'yo, sa iyong pagkaalala?
Well, of course, it's a Jones Cup, no? Because we were the underdogs. Everybody, they were thinking talagang easy for the US team. And of course, when we won yung championship against China, and another game probably is against Korea, because that was a crucial game for us in Korea. They just beat China. So, the ruling there is just one round. One round yun. So, hindi pwede yung you'll see them in the semis or the finals or whatever kasi it's just a one round robin yun. So, those were probably games na talagang you won't forget. Even the games, some of the games in that Jones Cup, yun ang I can say yung competition-wise in the Jones Cup during our era, talagang grabe competition yun. There are teams from Uruguay, Sweden, talagang not for the sake of just sending a team. Talagang puro national team.
Pakbakan talaga.
Pakbakan, good club team. Kaya it's really a good experience for us yun. And after winning the Jones Cup, probably it gave us medyo swag after winning that. We feel that beating those powerhouse countries, we can easily achieve that in the ABC.
Actually, parang history was also on our side dun sa development of basketball because the 3-point line was only admitted sa amateur basketball in 1985. Kasagsagan yung lahat na shooter lahat kayo.
Oo nga.
So it was an advantage. I think for me, nag-benefit ako doon.
Oh yeah, of course. Ikaw, yeah. Chip, ikaw, Alan, di ba?
Alan, di ba?
Oh.
Boy, yeah. Sayang yun sayang na-cut short yung program. But I guess Gina is doing a good job, but it's just that sometimes yung scheduling. Buti nga ngayon, maganda na yung program natin. There's a new Godfather running the show, running the team. We just have to sustain it and put the right nucleus.
But you also mentioned, Coach, yung PBA stints ninyo as guest team, no? In part of your preparation as national team was to play in the PBA. And medyo na rude awakening nga kayo dahil magagaling din talaga. Medyo veterano yung mga kalaban nyo. But you did make a breakthrough and you did win a PBA championship. What was the sentiment among the team members when you were beating everybody? You were killing everyone that conference all the way to a sweep in the finals against a PBA team with an import.
Well, for us kasi the way we look at it, we were so cohesive already. We know each other very well. And in terms of preparation for every game, kami sigurong well-prepared team yun. Kudos also talaga to Coach Ron. He introduced scientific basketball here. Dati, di ba, ang practice namin yun, I still remember, mga 3 times a week lang yun, 4 times a week. And konting stretching, shooting, scrimmage. Yun, the way we were prepared, talagang big factor on us dominating that particular conference. And we were right for it. Kaya, syempre, we're young guys, mas masisipag. Yung kalaban namin, PBA players per se, talagang yung skills-wise, talagang magaling. In fact, during the lockdown, I used to watch tong mga old
Yeah,
games. Kasi those players still playing up to now. Arnie Tuales, Fernandez, skills. Now that I'm coaching, now na-appreciate ko the more that they really skilled players during that time. They can still be this era. Kasi noon, hindi pa naman ako nagpo-coach. So I don't even watch them up close eh.
Yeah. Oh, pero yung yung skills nila, timeless yung skills ng ibang mga players. Kahit anong era, pwede mo isubo yung mga yan. Okay.
Yung scouting ni Ron Jacobs and how he was able to find all of these talents, the Pumarens, tapos you found the Samboy Lim, you found the Alan Kaidik, you found the Ibes Tignatise from all over the Philippines ito. Paano yung sistema ng scouting na yun, Coach Franz? How did Coach Ron and the program find all of these great talents?
Well, of course, ang naging priority niya is player that can fit in the system of Ron. Kailangan dyan may discipline. There's no superstar syndrome, syempre. Diba? In fact, when I can still recall, because sometimes I used to ride with my dad. So, ang tendency yun, if they have a meeting, I'll just be hanging around the next table. So, in other words, medyo chismoso ako, nadidinig ko yung the way they recruit players. First, they were kind of hesitant with Samboy because skills-wise, there's no question. But they were thinking if he's that individualistic, if he can play within the team concept. But they invited him. So, kaya naging successful. Then si Ives naman from Bacolod, he was doing his training with the Salle. And sometimes nasa practice team siya. And I think he was able to prove himself. But remember, si Ives was not part of the official NCC tsaka RP team na yun. He was in the latter part na yun. So, may ito po. Kaya siya, skills-wise, si Tunichi Ituri, I don't think he's gonna be a superstar. Pero how come he was part of that particular national team? Because he knows how to do his role. He doesn't go out of his comfort zone. Basta ang gusto lang ni Ron, ganito lang dapat gawin. Parang yung time yun, si Dennis Steele. Dennis, bawal ka shoot. They'll tell him, you're not allowed to shoot from outside. Ganon. So talagang meron kaming specific roles. Kaya yun ang sigurong one aspect that the players that were recruited were not really big-time superstars in their own right.
Coach, tanong lang ako, mabalik lang sa kay Derek, he hung up his sneakers as a player very early and decided to concentrate on coaching na lang. What was about Coach Ron?
Yeah. Sa siguro na-realize din naman niya na he can still play in college ball, but I don't think he can make it all the way to the PBA level.
Okay.
Si Ron probably noticed it that he's capable of being a good coach. So he assigned certain roles already. You wouldn't believe this. When I was still playing for Ron, sometimes I do the scouting also. So maaga akong na-train din. So during the pag yung mga international competition, sometimes you have separate venues. So pinapito ko ng venue, I do the scouting report there. I give them the scouting report. Kasi hindi ko masyado tayong time yun. Wala pa masyadong video. Wala kami tamang who will take video from the other team. So we mostly rely on the old school way of scouting.
Speaking of scouting, coach, are you still in touch? Remember si Paul Howard, yung parang scout ni Ron Jacobs back then? Is Paul Howard still someone you communicate with? Is he still around?
I think he's still around. Kaya lang old school ako. I don't have any Facebook or So
okay.
Kagaya si Jeff Moore. He'll send a message to the Facebook of my wife. So gano'n wala akong Facebook.
Yeah. Good for you, coach. Good for you.
Coach, lahat kayo, if not all of you, under the tutelage of Ron Jacobs, went on to become coaches. I mean, yourself, Tonichi, Jongwi Chico, Si Hector Calma lang yata hindi naging coach sa grupo niyo. I mean, what was that influence of Ron Jacobs sa inyo to turn you all into coaches eventually? Leo Austria din pala, turn you all into coaches eventually.
Well, parang rin naman yan, di ba? It's just like sa movies, after maging artista, you'll end up being a director. So probably nakita rin ni Ron yung potential namin because during practice naman, we can give our own suggestion. I can give my own take on certain situations, scenarios, even during the games. So siguro that influenced me a lot to be a coach. Kasi inano rin ako what's the right term for this? Encouraged me. Si Ron encouraged me that I can be a good coach. Kaya nga nung while I was playing, I was doing the scouting report already. And sometimes ask my opinion. So just like what I mentioned, sometimes I hang around with them because I'm waiting for my dad. I'll just ride with him going home. So, minsan, I don't do. What can you say about this? So, and so forth. So, I'll give my opinion. So, maybe with that, now realize that I have this potential and encourage Derek, and probably even si Leo Austria, to pursue coaching after our playing year. And syempre, part and parcel din yun if you were under a good coach, you will learn a lot. Easy transition for players like me. Kaya siguro yung iba kaya siguro now coaches sila.
Coach, yung sa recruitment ng SEC, di ba, as the years went on, sabi mo nga, may nadagdag na player, ganyan. Towards the end, towards 86 already, the newest ones, I guess, were Dindo was there na, sila Alvin Teng, Jeffrey Graves, Jerry Codiniera, yun yung mga bago, di ba? Pido Harenso. Meron ba kayong parang rookie hazing dyan sa NCC? Parang initiation, welcoming the younger guys. May ganyan ba?
Hindi ganun. Parang inuutusan lang. To that extent, travel, they carry our bags. Sila yung what we call yung Gilas Junior the time na yun. Si Jerry was promoted to play for us. Same thing with Pido. And then, simple mga certain players. So, yun ang parang sila nagiging Gilas Junior if we will compare it in today's program. Actually, may mga ibang players na talagang supposed to be still part of that program, but they feel that their growth or probably na parang na-choke yung potential nila. Because alam natin ang style ni Ronin is very disciplined. Hindi ka pwede masyadong hindi ka masyadong binibigyan ng leeway to do certain things. So there are certain players na who didn't stick around to play for the national team. And you can just imagine ang allowance lang namin doon maliit. Sila, those players, they decided to turn pro because of course, the bigger paycheck. Sa amin, allowance lang, napaka-small na yung allowance namin. But we still stayed with the program because we love what we were doing. We love to represent the country. And it's a learning experience for us, especially for young guys like us during that time. Kasi sabi namin, PBA can always be there naman.
Yeah.
Coach, yung talk about Hector Calma and how much influence he was sa iyo as a player and as a person.
Well, si Hector, if you don't know him, he's a quiet type. But normally, yan yung mga kasama namin pag lumalabas dahil, of course, we share the same passion, matagal makilala. Actually, si Hector was discovered by Ron when we were playing together. We were playing against each other. So that's why he was invited to join that camp. Kasi nga, when Ron arrived, syempre, there's a lot of names being given to him. But upon watching it, he feels it won't fit the team. So that's why si Hector was able to join us because one of our games we were playing against him.
Sino kaya yung mga nakita magagaling pero hindi sinama sa programa? That's a big mystery.
Very interesting topic yan. Yung mga almost.
Ilabas mo na, coach. Sino yun? Matagal naman na
Tapos na
na yung ibang mga basketball critics din, di ba? They were saying, mas magaling sa akin and everything. Probably so during that time, but hindi suited to the system. Usong-uso pa yun yung sa mga sports magazine, di ba? They were building up those players that they should be invited. Yung all of those things. But siyempre, end of the day, ang composition of team, you will choose what you feel is best for the team.
The system.
Yeah, for the
Coach, did you pick up anything, diba, to expand your game? Did you pick up anything from Louis Brill, from Hector Calma? Did you see something that they do na okay to? I-adapt ko sa sarili ko, parang gano'n.
Ano yun naman ako parang ganyan din ginawa ko coaching You cannot be somebody that you feel that you don't have that talent. You don't have that talent. But you try to get the good qualities of each player, diba? To make sure na pwede mo i-adapt. Kaya yung passing skills ni Hector, diba? You will see the way he will make certain decisions. Kasi close yan, everyday nakikita mo sa practice yan. Si Louis Brill during that time, wala pa nga 3 points, pero the way he shoots the ball, talagang malayo. So, parang same thing sa coaching. You cannot say that I want to be like one Blake Lopez. You cannot say I want to be like Norman Black, like my dad. No. You get their traits that you feel that you can use it in the nucleus of your team. So, malaking factor din yun that I was playing against, so practicing with those guys. It helped me really mature. It helped me polish my game. Kahit si Frankie, naging teammate ko si Frankie. Bago siya mag-pro. Naging teammate ko.
But there are just some names of the guys who didn't make the NCC program na big names at the time. Yun, Dondon Ampalayo, Ricky Cui, Sani Cabato, baka ito yung mga nabanggit ni Coach na hindi lang natin masabi.
Some of them. No, but I'd like to, maybe I'll bring it up again because Coach Franz mentioned it already, guys, earlier. No, you mentioned about 1986, na pag-uusapan siguro ninyo na parang sayang, nakapanghinayang yung nangyari. Because of the EDSA revolution, even the basketball program was stopped. And you were supposed to play in the Worlds that year, no, to represent the region, the Philippines. How far did you think we could have gone in that tournament? You you think we were capable of going to the final 8, second round?
So Spain FIBA Worlds yun, di ba? Spain?
I don't think so.
Hindi pa rin. Hindi pa
rin siguro. But being the number one team in Asia is already a big leap coming from how many years talo tayo sa Asia. Being a representative of Asia is a big achievement already. Yun naman ang main focus namin dun. Trying to make sure that we compete every night, every game.
At saka tandaan nyo rin guys, kung 1988, it would have been easier to qualify for the Olympics sa basketball because dalawang slot ang Asia noong 1988 noong time na yun. Because we had an automatic slot already, so there was one more available. So sayang yung opportunity din na yun.
But let's end this NCC discussion. Just a question. No, I know that guys like Jojo Laftimosa were being eyed to join the program already. Benji Paras, these guys, yun yung mga gustong recruitin na to take over perhaps the naturalized players para all Filipino na yung lineup. How far do you think they could have taken this NCC program, Coach Franz, had 86 not changed or not killed the program? Well,
you're right, Charlie. The names that you mentioned, ayun yung transition Ayan yung young guys na sa amin But ang kailangan pa rin of the day, you still need the big guy. You still need those naturalized players. You can compete. You can once in a while beat a very strong team, a country. But down the road, you need some big guys to help us out.
Yeah. Pero sayang, kung tumuloy-tuloy lang.
May bumabati na kay Coach Franz ngayon, si Onchi de la Cruz. Kamusta na pa ni Onchi?
Mabuti mo mag-Tagalog yung gagawin yan, ha?
Hindi pa naman nagsaslang, Coach. Nung nag-guest naman siya sa amin, hindi pa naman siya nagsaslang.
yan ang malas ko. Hindi naging player ng papa ko, kaya kung banatan ako niyan, kung sagasaan ako ni Kuya Onchi, ganun-ganunan na lang eh. Ang payatan ko, 105 pounds ako.
Hindi ka nakawala, hindi ka naligtas kay Onchi de la Cruz, ha.
Sagasaan ko yan, nalaki ng katawan na yan.
Teammate pa niya si Vic Sanchez.
Si Vic, hindi pa makalimutan 5 stitches ang nabot mo doon sa swing niya eh.
Sid, you have something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Si Onchi nandito na. He's back in the Philippines already.
He's back here na.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bumalik na siya. Yeah. There, Coach, before we go on, break lang, Coach, after NCC ngayon nga, nabuwag na because of the EDSA revolution, they formed a new NAP, and we were talking to Elmer Reyes a few days ago about this. He was one of the few holdovers who made that team. Pero for that team, it was Dindo who joined. No?
Yes.
Hindi ka na ba nag-try out noon or?
Sa 86?
Hindi ka na nag-try out noon or may usapan ba kayo ni Dindo na siya naman muna?
Paano na ako pa-pro na ako eh.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi 86 ako nag-pro eh. So,
yeah, yung last
Okay. Well, we will enter the discussion about that pro career which lasted for 13 years after this very short break here on AEOB.
Walang imposible, sige lang simple. Abot mo ang unang simple. Malapit malayo, sama-sama tayo. Hanggang sa tulo, ano man ang pagsubok, isusuko. Alam kong kaya mo. Sige lang simple, sige lang simple. Walang imposible.
This is an eternity of basketball. We are now in audio form. You can take us on the go, available on Spotify and Anchor. We're also on YouTube, so you can view us anytime. All our episodes already up on the YouTube channel. We're part of the Globally Ballin Network. Don't forget to catch the Globally Ballin podcast. And the Globally Ballin podcast takes a surface-level view of sports and opportunities around the world. Listen to that on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, and more. And one of the other podcasts on the Globally Ballin Network is Hang Time with Cassie G. Volleyball naman ang usapan sa Hang Time. At tabayanan niyo po yan sa Apple Podcast, Spotify, Anchor, at iba pa. At mabalik tayo sa ating discussion here on episode 49 of AEOB with Coach Franz Pumaren, Charlie Cuna pa rin with Sid Ventura, Noel Zarate. And so you mentioned, kaya nga, you're preparing to become pro, and you finally did become pro, Coach, in the third conference of 1986, when the Magnolia team rejoined the league as the Cheesemakers, and you entered the core. The core came from the NCC squad. Of course, you did have Alan Abelgas and Manny Paner as the veterans on the team, di ba? They didn't get to play much anymore. Even the great Manny Paner didn't get to play much anymore. But it was apparent that it was your time already. Not a good conference, just 2 wins, but you were there. You finally made it. Ano naman yung feeling ninyo? Was it just didn't even feel different kasi you'd been there before? You've played there in the PBA many times already? Or was it different?
Mataas na sweldo. Mataas na sweldo ngayon.
Yun yung diferensya.
It's no longer allowance. We're being paid na talaga to play basketball. And yun ang classic example that you need a veteran to make your team successful. Remember the nucleus of that team. We won that PBA, one conference at PBA, but we're still lacking in leadership in terms of exposure. Dahil like what I mentioned a while ago, these players are very skills-wise. Talagang magaling sila. Magkakaroon ka talaga ng reality check. And those were the days that we were really enjoying, getting paid as a professional already. It's entirely different.
May isang insidente na hindi siguro naalala ng marami, pero I think it was, and correct me if I'm wrong, Coach Franz Pumaren was the first player in PBA history to convert a 4-point play.
4-point play. Yeah.
Approved.
So what was that play like? At were you aware, Coach Franz, that you were making history nung tinitira niyo yung free throw na yon?
Actually, that was that I was playing for NCC yun. I mean,
NCC kayo.
NCC, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Putol yata si Coach Franz.
That's right.
But again, weird. The three-point line had already been instituted in 1980, yung horseshoe na three-point line. Tapos, noong 81, ginawa kang semicircle. It took, 4 years later before a 4-point play was actually made, ano?
Yun na nga eh. Walang nagsa-challenge kasi a lot of the times the three-point shooters would be not even marked eh. Di ba? Remember back in the days, 80s, even the NBA, sila Michael Cooper, sila Danny Ainge, bukas na bukas lagi sa tres, parang hindi sanay ng yung mga teams na bantayan yung three-point line in those early years ng three-point shot, di ba?
Yeah.
Let me try to get in touch.
Yeah, si Coach Franz, while he's still trying to connect dito. Alam naman natin yung mga three-point gunners dati, si Atoy ko, pag titira, nakabang na rin si Iko ni Atoy ko pag titira ng 3 points. So, hindi ka na rin lalapit. Especially Philip Cesar noong 1980. Naka-usli na parati, tapos baki patitira ng tres yan. Pero, again, strange, 4 years later, and when the foul happened, ano ba yun? I forgot who was calling the game na this is a 4-point play. Parang we've never heard of it before. Before Franz Pumaren actually made the first 4-point play. Tapos ano pa nga, I think there was a time also, I'm not sure if this was in the PBA or in another league, na foul taking a 3-point shot, but since it was not in the rules that you take 3 free throws, 2 free throws lang ang binibigay.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure if it was PBA or somewhere else. Sid, baka mas alam mo yun kaysa sa akin. Pero yun na nga, parang they've never seen a guy foul taking a 3-point shot. So 2 free throws lang ang binigay. Kasi wala sa rules.
Yeah. Ganun talaga eh, di ba? Yung evolution ng game rules
sa
yan.
amateur was 3.
Sa amateur. Pero sa pros hindi, di ba? You get foul taking a 3-point shot. It was just 2 free throws.
Recently lang yun. A few years ago lang yata. Several years ago. I wanted to talk to Coach Franz nga about that because I remember he sent a game into overtime. 1987 yata kalaban Ginebra. He was fouled by, I think it was Leo Isaac, and Ginebra was up by 2, taking a 3-point shot, and na-foul siya.
Tatlo free throws.
No, dalawa lang.
Dalawa lang. Dalawa lang. Ayan. Hey, Coach, welcome back.
Ayun, ito na si Coach.
Sorry.
Nangyayari talaga yan. May question ko kami na, Coach. Di ba na-foul ka taking a 3-point shot?
Sorry, nanobat pala ako. I was using this pala.
Okay. So you were foul taking a 3-point shot and you made the shot. Tapos kung what was going through your mind nung nag-free throw kayo na, history ba itong gagawin ko? There's never been a 4-point play before you.
Actually, wala akong idea that it's gonna be part of the history. So, it's the usual routine, a bonus shot, pero I didn't think about na magiging part ako ng history.
Si Sid, may tanong. Sid, ano yung tanong mo? You're discussing about that game that you remember na overtime kay Coach Franz?
Yeah. Ande, sige. Before we go to the photos, ito na pala yung sige. Pero mamaya na yan.
Tanong mo na.
We were just talking about, Coach, yung before, pag final ka on a 3-point shot, you only take 2 free throws sa pros. Recently lang naging 3 free throws. And I remember a game you had, it was against Ginebra. You were fouled by Leo Isaac, taking a 3-point shot, and Ginebra was up by 2 points. Tapos, no time left. You had to make those 2 free throws.
Yeah.
To send the game into overtime. Tapos yung pangalawa, nag-bounce tapos tumama sa ano. Do you remember that? Kasi that was a heck of a game eh. I remember that. 1 second left, naka 3 points.
Yeah. Actually, desperation shot na lang yun eh. Because
Leo is really dumb foul on you. Tapos, you have to take the 2 free throws.
Actually, ang main objective niya siguro doon is to foul me before I make an attempt. Kaya lang, nung time na yun, I think it's instinct na lang. A few, I think, 1 or maybe 1 point something or 2 seconds na lang yun. So, instinct on my part, I just threw the ball eh. Actually, kahit hindi niya ako foul siguro, walang pumasok yun eh. But lo and behold, I was fouled. Then, kaya nga, I used to brag that video to my players up to now eh. Shooting free throws under pressure, this is a classic example.
Pero yun na nga, 2 free throw lang in-award sa'yo. So, under the current rules, you would have done a Paul Lee. You would have won the game with 3 free throws. Di ba? Ginawa ni Paul yun sa isang tournament, di ba? Sayang di ba? Hindi pa sila sure kung anong rules yung nag-a-apply nung panahon na yun na dapat tatlong, kasi foul taking a 3, dapat 3
Kasi wala sa rules Parang it was just like a decade ago or 12 years ago lang yata na institute na sa pros, you can take 3 free throws already when you're foul taking a 3-point shot.
Speaking of free throws, no, I can't forget yung bago kami nag Grand Slam in the PBA. We were playing against Great Taste. If we lose that game, mawawala kami sa... Basta we won't be able to make it to the semis So anyway, si Sonny Capato was fouled. Desperation na lang. You remember that?
Yes.
Kasi Presto fan ako nun I was a Presto fan. Yan, binabato ko yung TV.
Yes, Presto.
He missed them both. May sinabi ka ba sa kanya, coach, bago niya tinira? May binulong ka ba?
Yung mga teammate niya ata nag-pressure sa kanya
Okay. Sa bagay, mahirap bubulungan mo si Sonny Cabato. Medyo malaki.
So may kataasan yun.
Now, if you see that picture, yung number 17, kilala nyo?
Si Perry ba yan?
Yeah, Perry Ronquillo.
Si Perry.
Sa 85, no, coach? 85 team? Kasi nandiyan si Dindo
85, 86. I remember dahil every practice siya nagbabantay sa akin He's the one making me work talaga
I see si Aldo nandyan. Si Mike Huang yan, yung dalawang tuhod may
Yes, Mike Huang, then si Alfie Almari number 8.
Okay.
I see Waki Garcia at the back.
Yes, Waki Garcia. He was our captain ball then Joey Santa Maria.
Andiyan si Joey Santa Maria.
Oh yeah, si Joey. Behind JB Gayoso. Sa likod ni JB.
Behind din ba?
JB Gayoso.
Yeah, tama. Yeah, I was gonna ask that's JV nga. So, one of the few who played for both Ateneo and Lasal.
Sino yung 7? Si Rafa ba yan?
Rafa Dinglasan.
Rafa Dinglasan.
Laki ni Rafa.
A few pounds ago.
Yeah. How about number 4, coach? The one beside Alfie Almario.
That's Bimbo. Bimbo mababa. He didn't make it big.
Hindi ko kilala. Si number 6 is is that Raymond Lacson, number 6?
Yes, Raymond Lacson.
6'9" yan, di ba, coach?
Yes, siya yung mga unang big guy na 6'9".
I remember that.
And right beside me, it's Tonichi Turi.
Tama. That's Coach Tonichi at the back. Okay, Ganda na. Ngayon ko na nakita ito. That's Dickie Bachman, at the back, sa likod ni Aldo Perez.
Yes, Dickie Bachman and Joey Santa Maria ang mga ang mga actually this team was a preparation for the UAAP. It just unfortunate si Dindo was not eligible to play, Alfie was not eligible to play, Tonichi was not eligible to play. So the first UAAP team of Salle, I was the siguro I can say the veteran lang, puro talagang fresh high school graduate yung teammates ko yun And you played against sila Benji yun
Yeah.
Bakit hindi eligible si Dindo nito, coach? High school pa kasi siya?
No. He was in college. Kaya lang yung sa sa kinuha niyang units, just 9 units So it's not eligible kasi what's so funny, when they accepted Lasal, it was just 2 months, 3 months for the opening of the UAAP. I don't know if that was the intention, na late approval. So wala masyadong recruit yan So we didn't really prepare well. So kung sino na yung nandoon sa campus, sino mga players namin who enrolled At that time, si Dindo ata just enrolled 9 units Kailangan at least you're enrolled 12 units
Sayang. Sayang, hindi kayo nagsama doon sa na yun. Yeah, pero look at that yan. Si Joaquin Garcia, shooter yan
Matanong ko lang din pala, coach, parating number 5 ang number niyo sa lahat ng ng teams niyo. Why number 5? Is there anything special about it?
I really can't recall. It just happened. I think that was the only available number when I was in Lasal So
ito number ni Manong nung nasa youth team siya
nung time naman kasi you have to follow the FIBA rules It's from number 4 hanggang number 17, 18 lang You cannot gear away from that number.
That's right. That's right.
Not like
Okay,
now.
So this LaSalle team, what was their record? Do you recall, Coach or Sid? Baka you know.
I think we were 5th or 6th in the UAAP. Now this one is a much stronger team. We played in the I think we played in the interclub.
Right.
In UAAP team namin, I think we were 5th or 6th. Because all young guys, that was the rookie year of Joey Santa Maria, rookie year of D.P. Bachman, sila Rafa, puro young guys yun. But we were able to compete during the time.
Mga tisoy.
Grabe si Rafa, grabe si Coach Perry, no?
Oo nga di ba?
Lamang na si Coach Perry ngayon kay Rafa at least.
First time I saw that photo, galing ng photo. I recall many of these players growing up.
Sa Twitter I found it sa Twitter I was searching kanina.
Coach Franz, marami dyan naglalaro sa Tasmariñas intercolor. Kaya nakakalimutan yung di ba?
Ano yan, Sid?
Yeah, what was it like yung 86 season na yun sa UAAP?
Sabi ka, Sid.
Well, the UAAP season yun was, it's been a while because I was just enjoying my rookie season playing for LaSalle during the NCAA. Then abruptly na-stop yung games, di ba? Kagaya sinasabi ko there's no substitute playing in a college tournament. After that NCAA, we only joined mga commercial leagues. So it's a different talagang people watching the games are all talagang basketball fanatics lang. But with the college tournament, UAAP, the school, the students, alumni were so excited. So ang ganda ng crowd. Parang it brings back memory during my rookie year. But that was my final year before I turned pro. Kaya nga, it's memorable for me. First batch, last batch of player that played in the... I was part of the last batch that played in the NCAA, the first batch in the UAAP.
Oh, imagine, you played in both leagues. Na walang transfer. Walang yung mag-enroll ka sa ibang school, di ba? Walang gano'n. Kasi nangyayari ngayon yun. Medyo normal na ngayon yun na nakapaglaro sa dalawang league. Pero dahil naglumipat ng school, di ba?
Pero as a player, Coach Franz never won a championship. Malaking bawi niya later on na ilang championship ang nakuha para sa LaSalle as the coach.
That's right.
Tignan natin yung iba pang pictures, Bianca.
Yeah, let's check out the next one. This one's always nice because kayo talaga kayong the point guards of that NCC squad. Coach, grabe itsura mo dyan, no? Bagets na bagets.
Yung sa, I think second conference when ng PBA or third conference. That was our first championship.
85 reinforced. Third conference yan. Manila Beer Sweep. Diba?
So, in during the time when we joined the PBA, yung talagang yung official yung batch namin, that was 86 to 87, till probably the early 90s. That was the height of the, I don't know if you will agree with me, but that was the height of the popularity of the PBA.
Yes. Madami nagsasabi na. That was Attorney Rudy Salud's time as commissioner and talagang
kaya ngayon I had this opportunity to apologize kaya nung nag-retire ako biglang bumaba yung crowd.
They need you back, Coach. They need you back.
Pero in fairness, those were parang the best years of the PBA. Talagang grabe yung rivalry. Every time we play, even in Ultra, sinasabi nila, it's so hard to part. Pero ang Ultra, always jump back. Diba?
Tama. That's right. I agree. I was there. Diba?
Competition-wise, it was well-balanced. Talagang every game, parang it's always important for both teams. Kaya talaga yung play, yung crowd, they enjoy it.
Yung pa naman yung nanonood ako, taga-Kapitolyo ako, hindi ako makapunta sa Ultra kasi parating puno. Kung kailan malapit ka sa venue, hindi ka makanood.
Yeah, this is great backward. Next photo, please.
Great picture there.
That's a great picture, definitely. Ito, here's another great one. This you guys won.
Puro bata talaga.
That's the ABC. That's the ABC.
Yeah, batang-bata. Grabe talaga si Alan kay Dick here, Coach Alan, and of course si Jericho Diniera. Look at them.
Yes.
Pero si Jerry halatang hindi naglaro, fresh na fresh pa eh.
Oo nga.
Kahit
That's
si
right,
Ives, hindi masyado naglalaro pa dyan eh.
Si Ives, si Pido, sino pa ba nandyan? Well, Tonichi Ituri, Elmer Reyes.
Elmer.
Samboy.
Samboy.
Samboy. 14 is
Kaya
kami.
dyan is about 9-10 players eh. Then si Tunichi nagagamit pag sinasabi namin pag magbabanyo lang si Dennis Steele. So papasok.
Was this the first time na nag-New Year kayo away from your families dahil sa basket?
Yes, for first time. And in Malaysia kasi being a Muslim country, they don't celebrate New Year. So parang big diff sa amin talaga din. Parang it feels sad but may mission kami that particular year kaya okay lang sa amin. This is the ultimate goal namin is to win the EBC.
Oo. Pero at the same time, nagsimula ito December 26. So you weren't there on December 26. Christmas ba? Nandiyan na rin kayo sa KL?
No, mga 23 or 24 ata kami nun siya.
Pati Christmas, nasa KL na kayo.
Yes.
And I don't think they have Christmas there as well.
Wala.
Okay. Great photo. Next one. Let's check it out. And this is SMB. Ayan, 1987.
Yeah, 87. Si Ricky Brown na nandito.
Norman Black also.
Yeah.
And Abit Gidaben. No? And Abit Gidaben. How was it like playing with Abit Gidaben, Coach?
In fairness, no, sinasabi nila na may konting tantrums and everything. Hindi naman. We were able to manage him. The coaches were able to manage him. But it's just an unfortunate decision ng coaches na it's better to trade him because the coaches feel better suited sa amin si Mon Fernandez.
Well, it's probably the first time a reigning MVP was traded at the end of his season. Siya nanalo ng MVP niyan eh. And then he gets traded.
Probably you're wondering how kung alam ko yan. Because in case you don't know, when I was playing for San Miguel then, I was the only active player coaching in the PABL.
Okay.
Oo nga, no. Yes.
So kaya minsan sa mga coaches discussion kasama na ako dun.
Kung may Viber group, kasama na kayo sa Viber group nun.
Oo nga.
Bakit Bell?
Baka wala pa.
Coach, you're looking at Ricardo Brown. He's there with your team. How did you feel personally when you got Ricardo Brown? Because it was always you and Hector, and then now another point guard's coming in, and hindi pipitsugin yung darating. Quick brown fox yan. Anong pakiramdam mo nung time na yun?
For me, no, speaking for me, iba yung mindset na namin yun eh. We're professional, we need to win. And remember, every time we win, there's a corresponding bonus eh. And we should also understand, si Ricky hindi naman parating point guard eh. He can play the two positions. Minsan nagsasabi siya ng Hector. So, it's a welcome experience for me. Dahil advantage for me, I play against him every day in practice.
Right. So I guess you'd rather be on the same team than playing against him also.
Yeah. Better that way.
Brown and Black together, then Norman Black at saka Ricardo Brown, and this team should have won more than it did, in my opinion. Yung lineup na yan should have won more than it did.
Grand Slam naman yan.
Grand Slam.
Dapat tuloy-tuloy yan. I don't know if you can recall, we had this import before, si Derek Chibus.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yung si Band-Aid Man, the Band-Aid Man.
Band-Aid Man. When he was our import, I think we won 12 straight or 13 straight eh. Kaya lang it came to a point na medyo, what we call na medyo nag-tantrums eh. Yung he doesn't want to practice. Pero ako, I get along with him eh. In fact, after every game, every practice, I used to go out with him together. Now my wife, my girlfriend then, kasundo ko yan eh. Yung rule pa ng PBA niyon, yung 2 rounds or single elimination, whatever, if you're the top team or top 2, automatic finals ka na eh. Or you don't need to win as many games in the semifinals. But anyway, he brought us to the finals eh. Kung hindi siguro siyang nagkaroon ng problema o na-manage siya ng maayos, we could have won that Grand Slam eh. Because that year, I think we lost to Bobby Parks eh. Then the following conference, All Filipino, we won. Then yung third conference, I think we won din ata. Anyway, issue na yan. How come I'm saying that? Dapat, kasi minention ni Noel na we could have won several tournaments.
Yes.
So we won that, we won 12 games. 12 straight games. So easy for us to make it all the way to the finals eh. Ang funny niyon, kinausap na Norman, ang import namin for first conference was Derek Chivus. Ang for third conference, si Tony Smith, si Hurricane. Tama ba, Tony Smith ba yun? Tony Harris. So yun ang dapat import. But si Norman that time, medyo he was disappointed with Chivus. Then he heard a lot of things about Tony Harris. Medyo may konting problem with this attitude. Kaya ko sinasabi, I should have won that with Derek Chivus because he was really,
magaling yun.
He was really above the competition with regards to the imports. And then, why am I saying this? Because in third conference, dapat nga si Tony Harris. Si Norman changed his mind. We changed another import. First game namin against, ano ba timang RFM niyon? But anyway, Swift. So, during the warm-up, si Tony Harris stood in front of Norman. He told Norman, "You didn't get me, huh? Watch me score 50 points. You didn't get me."
Buti kung 50 lang, that time he was doing 60, 70 on a regular basis.
He was running in front of Norman. "You didn't get me, huh? Watch me. I'm gonna score 50 points."
Sino kinuha nyo nun? Sino yung kinuha nyo nun, Coach? Do you remember?
I'm not so sure if it's Travis or Inis Batley. I'm not so sure.
Baka Inis Batley. Itong picture
dapat dalawang Grand Slam kami niyon eh.
Oo. Well, ito yung natuloy na Grand Slam, 89, kasi nandiyan si Bobby Jones saka si Coach
Don Ramon.
Don Ramon. So, this actually, if you look at the lineup of that 87-88 team, parang mas malakas pa yung kesa sa lineup na ito eh. Well, barring Mon Fernandez, of course. Pero you had these 2 young guys, Coach Franz, na pumasok. Yung Ato Agustin sa Bobby Jose. How did they help you achieve this Grand Slam?
When they played for us, for San Miguel then, I think they're perfect for the team in terms of attitude-wise. They know the roles. They're the type of players that we need. Si Ato can score. Si Bobby Jose, we needed a big guy for a 3 spot. So talagang eksakto yung pagka-draft na yan. And you should remember, si Ato was just a second-round pick.
Correct.
That's right. Who became an MVP.
Yung pinagmamayabang ni Coach Norman, I selected the only second-round pick to ever become an MVP.
Yeah.
Pero hindi siya masyadong nagagamit ng first.
So, that year.
Siya pa yung Pumaren sa kakalma. Paano gagamitin?
I think may injuries. I don't recall sino na-injured, pero he was thrust into the, kumataw siya nung
first arrive PBA, parang twinner siya eh. Hindi alam kung he suited for 1, is he suited for 2. So medyo yung transition niya medyo mabagal ng konti because of yung position niya. But playing for San Miguel really helped him because during that time si Hector medyo injury prone na yun eh. So, si Ato ang normally will play the other point guard. Kasi alam naman yun, hindi ako makakalaro ng 47 minutes, no? So, I needed a backup.
Yeah, of course. Well, we always have to ask. We always have to ask this when we talk to players who played with both of them. You played with Abed Gidaben. We saw him in the last picture. Now this is Mon Fernandez, and then you won a Grand Slam. You said management felt Mon fits your style more. Do you agree? I mean, where did management prove to be correct in your mind? Because obviously the results speak for themselves, but for you,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I guess, no, because it's he's a better all-around player, and he can easily adjust to certain scenarios. Mas compose siya. He can get along easily with the team. So I think it's a good trade that it became beneficial on the part of San Miguel. Kaya we won a lot of games then.
So naalala ko na yung interview natin si Coach Norman, he was against the trade. Di ba? Ayaw niya yung trade. He wanted to keep Abet. We're winning with Abet. Why are we gonna get Mon? Because yung pala, may alitan din pala si Mon nung nagbabantayan sila nung araw. That's why he didn't want to have anything to do with Mon.
He didn't like Mon. He didn't like Mon as a player daw. Kasi lagi raw siyang tinitira.
Mon was having problems with his ball club. Kaya trying to trade him then.
Yeah.
So, kasi better I think ngayon, kagaya sabi nga, what happened, mas nag-compliment si Mon nga kay Norman and the other importer. Because it's a better passer. Better all-around gamer.
Yeah. Sige. Let's take a look at some other pictures dito. We've had a lot. Ito na. Itong sino to? Kayong dalawa.
Yeah. Yan ang classic example na kailangan kong hawakan para mapigil lang ako.
What was it like going up against your younger brother dito na ilang bata pa lang kayo, naglalaro na kayo ngayon, pinapanood na kayo ng milyon-milyon tao na naghaharutan on the court?
It's quite it's different feeling dahil syempre you have to compete with each other, but at the same time parang it's a friendly competition, it's a fun game. Kasi normally when we were growing up, every time we play 2-on-2, ang kakampi niya si Derek. Ako, kakampi ko yung older brother ko . So sanay kami naglalaban every now and then.
Sino nanalo? Sino parating na nanalo?
Hati yun . Hati yun .
Pero yun nga, si Dinto noted to be one of the fastest guards of his generation dito. Did you help him in that development, Coach Franz, or was it natural for him? Was si Manong Derek pang influence sa kanya?
Well, I guess it was natural on his part. In fact, I think growing up, nagtatrack and field din yan, if I'm not mistaken. He's quick.
We had Elmer Reyes on nung Tuesday, Friday, and he was one of the few players who played with all three of you, the brothers, no? Derek, you, and Dindo. So, we asked him, syempre, sa tingin niya, sino yung pinakamagaling na Pumaren na nakalaro niya?
Bilis yung sagot niya.
Yeah. Would you hazard a guess kung sino sinabi niya?
Si Dindo, probably mas matagal niya kasama si Dindo .
Pero nagulat ako sa bilis sa sagot ni Elmer . Pag ni Coach Elmer, sinong sa tatlo sinipa? Si Dindo, bilis . Bilis na sagot niya .
Parang hindi niya pinag-isipan . Pero hindi, because daw, since he was a better point guard daw. I mean, yung niya, talagang pure point guard daw talaga si Dindo. That was his reason.
Tawag mo kay Manong. Si Manong pure point guard din si Manong.
Kasama niya kasi sa RP team pareho . Lahat kami tatlo nga pala tama.
All three nga.
All three. Pero para sa akin, yung pinaka-point guard talaga sa tatlo magkakapatid, si Manong Derek talaga. As in, yun ang pure point guard talaga yon.
Traditional.
Yeah, that would be. It's hard to define rin kasi what pure point guard really means.
Okay, pass first point guard. Pass first guard. Si Manong Derek yun. Kasi yung Franz at saka yung Dinto, license to shoot na yan .
But Dindo, ganda rin ang career. Grabe nga yung career rin yung dalawa actually. Very, very long and fruitful yung mga careers din yung dalawa.
Pero would you believe, if I wanted to, I could have extended my playing years pa rin.
Yeah, yeah.
Because after my stint with Mobiline, I was being offered by Santa Lucia din. Naferan ako ni Daddy. Kaya lang, it came to a point na every time I'll wake up, sabihin ko, same routine again. And of course, yung mga nagging injuries na rin, di ba? Sabi ko, I think it's about time for me to retire. Tsaka yung naging key ko rin dyan, pag yung medyo I get irritated na, napipiko na ako sa mga younger guys.
Yeah.
So I think it's time for me to look for another career na.
Ganun talaga. We've heard that also from some of our other guests. No? It was the physical, yung feeling mo talaga physically, and also yung attitude, parang hindi ka na, yung even getting up to practice sometimes, or parang nakakainis na, ganun sabi ng iba. Kaya ayaw nila.
Ito, 94 na to. 94 Hiroshima to.
Yeah.
94 Hiroshima.
That's right.
One last thing with the national team, ano? Asian team.
Yeah. We got Johnny Abarientos there. Then Alvin, Jerry,
Marlu.
Yes, and Marlu.
Si EJ sa likod eh. Si EJ was there, no?
Ray Evangelista.
No. Ray Evangelista. Si EJ hindi.
Wala si File.
Pero nasa picture siya.
Nasa pool siya. He was in the pool, pero he was cut by Norman.
Okay.
Sila Jeffrey Carriazo din, nasa pool nung time na yan eh.
Yeah.
Parang dalawa lang amateurs niya. Si Kenneth Duremdes lang at saka si Marlo Aquino ang amateurs. Sinama doon sa team.
Yes.
Tapos center nyo noon, si Dong Polistico.
Simon there also. I think Simon. Kevin Ramas,
ayan, no? Sa likod ni Art.
Yeah. I think that was my last
naman.
Yeah.
Yung weird kasi nitong 94 is that the determinant of who will represent the Philippines is whoever would win the All-Filipino.
That's right.
San Miguel the champion ng All-Filipino, pero with options to reinforce. So yung reinforcement came in the form of Ray Evangelista, Jerry Codinera, Alvin Patrimonio, and Johnny Abariento. So technically, 6 lang ang taga San Miguel talaga na pinasok niya sa team na yan.
Actually, magandang formula yan. Magandang formula po. Yung nucleus ng champion team, then you put yung team that you feel that can really help. That's a good formula pa rin. I think that can still be.
There's one guy I can't identify. The fellow beside Norman Black, to Norman Black's right.
Brian Punzalan.
Sa likod ni Commissioner. That's ba Brian Punzalan? Oh, he was part of the pool also?
He was also part of that pool.
Okay, hindi ko maalala. Kaya sabi ko nga si Brian Punzalan yan. I wasn't sure lang. Okay.
Norman Black got the top amateurs eh. He got the top amateurs para sa pool. Pero in the end, it was only Marlu and
so ito yung
Kinakwento rin ni Jeffrey Carriazo, this was the most painful cut daw ever because akala niya pasok na siya sa team na yan. Tapos hindi na rin umabot.
Tama.
And Dennis Espino also. Take note, Dennis Espino actually dropped a lot of his subjects to make more time with the team and eventually got cut also.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah, if I remember
no guarantees.
Maraming injuries yung San Miguel eh. I mean, Samboy got injured and some others. And then so, parang nag-SOS yata si Norman to the PBA board and asked for reinforcements.
Yeah.
So parang Pure Foods was, Pure Foods gave 3 of their players. So parang na-displace si Dennis Espino, si Jeffrey Carriazo, gano'n. So,
si Johnny,
nila because they had been practicing all the time. Pero wala maraming injuries di ba?
Kaya we got na rin Johnny there kasi fresh from champion kami niyan eh. But basically si Hector was injury prone na rin. Ako rin naman during that time coming from a knee injury din. So we needed somebody to really fill in for us just in case. Alam naman natin short term coming from a grueling conference, we needed some new guys that we feel that can really contribute.
So what was it like, Coach Franz, playing alongside a very young Johnny Abarientos, second year in the PBA niya pa lang yung time na yan? Did you see na may potential talagang maging legend itong batang to?
Yeah, for me, it's natural. It made me realize also to retire na early. Dahil napipigil na. To play for another year. Sabi ka na, it's a time for me to move on. In fact, napipigil pa na sa bantay mo. He's a natural player. Kaya naman, one game that I can't forget when we played against him, he was playing for Alaska. I don't know if you remember si Durham na import namin.
Pat Durham.
Pat Durham.
Yeah, Pat Durham. Si Pat Durham, he thought he will take it all the way, but he reversed it. Talagang in Cuneta, grabe yung yun. Talagang you can see that this Johnny Abrientos will become a household name. Natural ang skills niya, natural yung
naging dalawa pang
Talaga, the flying A talaga siya.
Correct. At saka yung dalawang college guys na kinuha nyo rito, yung dalawang taga-Adamson, si Aquino at saka si Duremdes, did you have a feeling also that they would have a meaningful PBA career kahit nang amateur pa lang sila?
Kenneth din, alam ko, he will make it big in the PBA. He's so natural. It's a combination of a Samboy Alan because he can shoot.
That's right.
He has this move driving to the basket. Kaya sabi ko talagang, I think one MVP, right?
Yes, 98.
Right.
98. Tapos yung Marlo, syempre, parang freak of nature nung time na yon, yung Marlo Aquino.
Yeah. Pero he was still very young then. Kaya he needed experience. Kaya medyo nag-struggle din sa mga much older and veteran guys in that tournament. Asian Games.
Mas ginamit yata si Dong noon Politico.
Kaya nga, siya yung starting center ng isang game. Si Dong Politico, idol ko yun.
At the very least kasi Dong Politico will bang the other big guys, di ba?
Kawawa yung babangga kay Dong Politico.
Di ba? Next photo, please. Yan, itong sinasabi natin.
Yeah.
Ito, may identify natin lahat to, guys.
But you're not the eldest player on that team, huh? You're not the eldest player.
Nagtuturo sa akin sa shooting, nasa gitna Naka-jacket.
Oh, yun. Si Richard.
Iba yan.
Pero nakalimutan ko nga na naglaro pa sa Mobiline si Yoyoy
Yes.
Yeah. Al Solis is there. Diba?
Oh.
Yeah. That was the first year of Andy Siegel.
Ayun siya sa likod.
First played in the PBA. So, Noel Briones, si Jeffrey, after a year ata dumating yun, after a year or two, or after a conference.
Tony Boy.
Tony
And
Boy, yeah.
well, you were together with your old teammate si Alvin Teng. Magkasama kayong dalawa dyan. Peter Martin is there as well.
Yeah.
Si Eric Reyes.
Capascio.
Yeah. Actually, marami veterans dito, no?
Tony Boy Espinosa.
Yeah.
Patrick Fran.
Yeah, those guys. Mga kilala. Kilala naman talaga lahat yan.
Coached by Norman, of course.
Yeah, what made you transfer, coach, to Mobiline? What were the circumstances that led to your transfer to Mobiline?
Actually, si Norman asked me if I wanted to join him there.
Okay.
So sabi ko, why not? Diba? So that's why I joined him in Mobiline. So exacto siya niya.
Yeah.
Coach siya rin yung coach ng Santa Lucia nung kinukuha ka rin ng Santa Lucia, Coach Franz, ano? Norman was also coaching Santa Lucia already at the time?
No, not
Hindi
yet.
pa.
Yung Ballin Carnadong kumusap sa akin yung time na yun.
Okay.
And then this is funny because when you went to Mobiline with Coach Norman, that's actually the time Coach Ron Jacobs went back to San Miguel.
Yeah, tama.
Diba? So parang pabalik na si Ron Jacobs, umalis ka naman. Diba? You went with Coach Norman at that time. Diba?
Ito yung mga teams na yung mga lineups na parang
yung maalala, no?
Yung maalala ko nga pala naging magkakampi si Villamin, si Capascio, si di ba?
The name I've not heard in a long time is Lowell Briones. Di ba?
Oo. Yeah, Lowell Briones.
Yung anak yan, si Lowell Briones. Yes, as an upcoming future star. I think they're based in the States right now.
Yeah, umabot pa ng mga Red Bull yan, di ba? Nag-Red Bull yan .
Yeah.
later on in his career. Galing din yan.
Yeah.
May mga magic tira din yan.
Parang second coming of Arnie Tuadles nga dapat yan si Lowell Briones di ba? Yung mga ganong kilos.
He's
Nawala
just
rin siya
Masyado.
Nawala rin siya after a few. Pero the star of this team was really Richard Del Rosario.
Naman.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a
The
doubt.
top overall pick in the second round.
Franchise.
Oh my God. Meron ba? Is this the last photo in your gallery? Oh, there is. Okay. Let's check out the next. Okay, this is different. This is a different phase. Different phase of your career and a very successful one at that.
I was trying to look for an appropriate LaSalle coaching photo of Coach Franz. Then I realized he coached for mga 10 seasons. Ang dami niyang stars na kinoach. So I just gathered all of them in one photo. Ito, panahon, Ren Ritualo up to ano na yan.
Parang dream game to
Meyer Hoffer. I think
ito yung dream game na. Ito nga yun, Coach.
Dream game.
Coach, is it possible for you to give us your all-time LaSalle squad? Maybe a top 5 and maybe 3 reserves.
Starting 5.
Starting 5 and 3 reserves.
It's really hard, but remember, I was able to produce 2 number 1 picks, diba? Si Mike Cortez and JD Casio, diba? And of course, si Mike is a different animal when he was playing the UAAP.
Yes.
And because of course, Ren should always be in that conversation. Josephine Cardona should also be included. Of course, a big guy si Aliado, si Don, but si Sharma had great stint also with LaSalle.
Naglaro ba si Mark Telan for you? Was Mark Telan your player, no?
No.
Hindi na, no? I had si Mark Telan. Yeah, Coach Jong, yeah.
Even Willie Wilson, this batch, this talaga. It's so hard. At least
anong number 2 pick ni Rico, no? Rico Meyerhofer was second pick. Am I right?
Yeah.
Second pick. Hindi siya one.
Yeah, yung mga priceless moments ko not to see them after all these years, they were successful in their basketball career, and some of them are already coaching.
Yeah.
The White Tanks,
Ang dami.
Coach Franz, how true is it na si Rico Meyerhofer na intercept mo lang? Dapat nasa volleyball team daw ng LaSalle yan, pero na-intercept mo lang daw sa basketball kasi tumawid ng Chess Plaza.
Hindi naman funny story yan. When he went to LaSalle for a tryout, kasama niya yung mami niya, nakahawak pa sa mami niya yan. And he's from Mindoro. May resort sa Mindoro. He was wearing a parang yung long parang board shorts. He was wearing board shorts. Then sabi niya kung pwede siya mag-tryout. Yung mama pa was the one talking to us. So that was the story behind it. Hindi naman talaga sa volleyball or what, but interest niya to join the tryout. But funny, naka-board shorts na nakasando. Yung typical kala mong surfer ang
talaga nasa Puerto Galero yung dating, ganun.
Yes,
diba?
Kasi yung legend ng kwentong yan, magta-tryout na sana siya sa volleyball team, tapos tinuro ng guard, tawid ka dyan. Eh nung tumawid, nakita daw ni Coach Franz, halika rito. Marunong ka ba basketball? Yan yung kwento. Yun yung naging kwento.
Kwento kutsero.
Nagpunta na naka-board shorts, naka-sando, kasama kami niya.
Was there anyone not in that photo, Coach, na you wish could have been there sa dream game na yun among your players? Speaking of scoring,
who's who nandito
Who's who na yan
Cardona is there and Willie Wilson.
Aranya.
Ryan, lahat.
Jerwin Gacko.
Jerwin Gacko pa.
Yan. Gacko-natics dyan.
Sino yung nasa tabi ni Willie Wilson dyan sa likod?
Sharma.
No, the guy on the left. No, it's the first one. The one behind Tonichi Ituri. The first guy on the left side.
Ano nga ba yan? JR2 ata? Aquino, if I'm not mistaken, JR Aquino.
Yeah,
JR.
yeah. You're right. Tama, coach. That's right.
Yeah, play for Ginebra.
Coach, do you have a favorite championship team or year?
Well, sa akin, every year kasi is memorable.
Yeah.
Each year memorable, di ba? They say ang weakest team ko was yung year 2000. We were not even favored to win dahil nag-graduate na sila Aliado, full bagong players.
Mhm.
Then of course, yung forfeit, nandiyan din. Then syempre yung uli, yung galing from suspended kami, di ba?
Yep.
So,
Six.
we won the championship. Why is it that memorable? Because we made a pact, we made our goal there is lahat ng tournament na sasalihan namin, we will win that tournament. So lahat ng tournaments, pinanalo namin then, the Phil Oil, Nike, Father Martin, lahat. We won in that tournament that we joined.
Coach, one of your popular, the most popular thing about your coaching, no, sa UAAP was that defense, the full court press that you guys conduct. Kaninong idea yan? Who did you do it yourself? Did you formulate it with a group of people? Did you adopt it from something you saw in the US or in some other coaching program? And how do you evolve it as the years go on? Because you still use it.
Actually, kasi when they asked me to coach the Salle, I think 2 months lang yun before the opening. So, I think they talked to Derek yun. Derek was in the PBA. He recommended that I am available. They tried to convince me. Short preparation. So, I was discussing it with Derek. Probably we can do something different because for the last how many years in La Salle, medyo slow tempo. Diba, there always been a second place team. So sabi ko, why don't we just create something different? And that started it. Now with Charlie, when he mentioned that I've been doing it, maybe if you look at it, you think I'm doing it the same thing, but it's different every year. It's different in terms of your players. Kung anong lupus mo. I do tweak it every now and then. I adjust it. So if you don't really scrutinize it or look at it at the microscope, you think I'm always doing the same thing. But I adjust it depending on my materials.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Galing. Matindi kasi talaga yun. May photo pa?
Yeah, meron pa. May dalawa pa yata.
Ayan.
Ito, you went back to the PBA for Air 21. Di ba?
Shapinas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shapinas pa pala una, ano?
Yeah.
Tama.
Coach, how different is it to coach in the UAAP and in the pros, in the PBA? What's the main difference?
Well, I can be very candid about it. No, sa PBA, advantage mo if you have a good team already, or if your team is capable of getting good players. Kasi sa PBA, pag magaling yung player mo, if you want to get another player, you just do trade, renew the contract and everything. In college, you develop players. There's no sure guarantee that if you're a big high school star, that you make it big time in the college level. So, yun ang difference. That's why, quite frankly, I enjoy coaching college basketball. Because priceless for me when you see your players become successful in another way, in another level, whether as a basketball player or as an individual or as a businessman or in other aspect. So, yun ang mas preference ko is coaching in the college division. Kasi ang hirap yung college, yung PBA team mo, you can get players because there's certain factors. Wala. You just have to really make sure to adjust to the present crop of players that you have. But with that one, I must say, nung slowly, nung ika-third year ko na coaching in that, di ba, naging Air 21 kami. We almost made it to the finals.
Tama. You
we
beat
did-
San Miguel. You beat San
Yeah,
Miguel twice.
Yes, we were just one game away from playing in the finals. Kaya nga, ang joke ko up to now, I'm still waiting for my bonus sa Air 21 because tumaas yung value ng franchise nila. That's why
Yeah. Tama yun. Diba? Tinalo nyo twice yun. Twice to beat ang San Miguel. Tinalo nyo 2 beses.
yeah.
Ganun yun.
May tanong dito, Coach Franz, sorry, from Michael Yulo, one of our top fans. So who would have won between the Salle Pumaren era or the Salle Embala Geronteng era?
Well, it's so hard to, of course, there's an import, no? But remember yung sa era ko mas skills-wise, I think I have better players then. And their mindset in every game is always to make sure to beat the opposing team. Not only to beat them, but to stomp on them. In a difference known players during the late 90s and early 2000s compared to the new players now. Mas sila mas motivated. And mind you, we don't have any big allowances nila.
And here is the Adamson.
Medyo recent na to.
Iba-iba yung fashion sense mo kay Manong Derek. Ano?
Paano na pag nagpa-fashion eh?
Diba? Yours is a bit of, medyo standard yung sa'yo, coach eh. Yung kay Manong Derek medyo na kakaiba.
May stretch nun sa UE siya, nag-UE, nag-80s, fashion siya nun eh.
Nagja-jaryo si Manong Derek pag nagpa-fashion eh.
Conservative ang dating ko lang.
Coach, ang dami ng... Sige, Sid. Go ahead. Sige,
I want to ask you lang, when did your partnership with Jack Santiago start? Parang every stop mo, he's there. When did you decide to get him as an assistant coach?
Actually, when I was an assistant coach of Norman, I think with Santa Lucia, he was a player there. Then he talked to me nga, sabi niya gusto niya to be a coach also. He wants to sit in sa mga practices ko. Then that started it. Ang funny kasi, when I was assigned to coach the PBA team of San Miguel, when I was still an active player, he was my first recruit to play for me. Kaya ang laging joke ko sa kanya, I think I made a bad decision recruiting niya sa player. That started yung pagiging close namin. And I guess I'm happy for him. He'll be head coach already of UE. I think that's he paid his dues already. And he knows me very well, even the way I run practices, the style, the approach, and everything. I think it's an asset for UE right now. That's why he's there.
Going back to the coaching yung sa akin lang, I remember a time where si Asi Taulava had just joined Air 21 from Top and Tex yata or from another team na pinasahan niya sa inbound si Jimmy Alapag, kalaban si Jimmy Alapag, nakalayap ka agad si Jimmy Alapag. Tawag ng timeout si Coach Franz. Una yung sinabi, Asi, please remember you're no longer teammates. Remember that one?
Actually, si Asi, kaya he became, we became close because wala siya sa PBA when I got him. He was already in the ABL. He was in the ABL. Then,
right.
Siguro the style of me developing players or reviving their career. If you look at my coaching stint with Air 21, Chap Pinas, si Asi became a mythical selection again when he played under me. KG Canaleta was a discard, but he became the most improved player. Sean Anthony, nobody wanted him, but I think he will be all-star, mythical, and everything. So those players, I think they appreciated that. They were able to revive their career. Dahil sabi nga nila, kaya nila KG wala na, hindi na na-recognize yan.
Sige, Sid, go ahead.
No.
Yeah, sige. Coach, I was going to ask you. So you have your father obviously has an influence on you as a player, as a coach. So you have the 3 Pumaren coaches now, diba? You have si Manong Derek, si Dindo also doubles in coaching. Ikaw rin. How's your relationship? Do you guys compare notes? Do you meet to talk about basketball? Do you hide things from them because you might coach against them in the future? But how's the relationship among the three brothers?
Hindi naman. In fact, we try to, like a typical basketball family, I guess, no? We share some insights. Halimbawa, you played against with this team. What do you think? Ako, my approach would be like this. What did you do different? Was it successful or what? So kahit pa paano, we trade ideas. Uh, that's one thing siguro I learned that it's better that way. I think slowly coaches are becoming like that. They're becoming more open. Hindi kaya before na parang masyadong tightly pa mga coaches. Ngayon, siguro because of the advent of siguro social media, everything, we tend to help each other. In fact, I was even invited by Tab Baldwin. I was the only Filipino ata who joined his basketball clinic. He invited some European coaches, some American coaches, and he invited me to share my knowledge in certain aspect that he feels that will improve coaching here in the Philippines.
Coach, tanong ko lang, I know we're running out of time, habol ko lang ito. Kasi noong 2013, you were able to help the program of another country develop. Actually, they give you a lot of credit. Kayo magkakapatid, yung Hong Kong program gives the three of you, kayo magkakapatid, a lot of credit for jump-starting their basketball program. Tell us about the relationship with Hong Kong basketball.
Well, actually, it was more on Derek. Once in a while lang, if they're here, I'll help. I'll schedule games for them. I'll help them with certain aspect. But mas hands-on si Derek dun. He was a consultant. In fact, when he was here, fly out lang siya dun. Just to help the team.
It's 8 o'clock.
Yes. I think it really helped them in terms of their approach sa Hong Kong basketball.
So, go ahead, Sid.
No, I'm good. Si Charlie may has.
I'm gonna do this thing. I'm gonna ask you to choose between A or B, coach. No explanation. Just tell me which do you choose among the two that I give you.
Okay.
I'll give you rapid fire yan ang iba.
Okay.
Ng ilan, okay? So number 1, Ron Jacobs or Norman Black?
A.
Okay. Alan or Samboy?
A.
Alan.
Jeff Moore or Chip Engeland?
Chip Engeland, B.
B. Alfie Almario or Naning Valenciano?
Valenciano.
Tonichi Ituri or Teddy Alfarero?
Tonichi.
Okay. Jaworski or Fernandez?
That's a hard one. Parang malapit sa akin yan. No? That's a hard one. Di ba pwedeng middle? Parang
Hard pass ka ba dyan? Hard pass?
Hard pass.
Oh, next tayo. UST or FEU?
FEU right now. I'm
Disclaimer na right now.
Oh. Hector Calma or Ricardo Brown?
Hector.
Ren Ritualo or Mac Cardona?
Nako.
That's a hard one. Pareho kong inaanak yan eh. Pareho kong inaanak eh.
Air 21 or Global Port?
It's hard din eh. But I have longer tenure with the Air 21 because I rebuilt the team eh.
Okay, yun lang. Yun yung listahan ko for Coach Franz Pumaren, di ba? Wala explanation.
Ang hirap ng Ritualo Cardona na yun, ha?
Kaya ako nga that's why we ask these questions. Para, di ba? Baka may konting hirap dyan, di ba? Hey guys, you have anything for Coach Franz? I know we've taken a couple of hours of your time, Coach, on this evening. Noel, Sid, I know Sid has a question.
Sid muna, yeah.
Yeah, no. My traditional question to all of our guests, Coach. Who are your 5 favorite teammates?
Of all time.
All time.
Since college.
Of course, si Tunichi, dahil since college, kasama ko na yan. Diba? Since college, till the PBA, of course, si Elmer was a favorite teammate, kaya nga naging kumpare ko rin yan. Ato, I was kind of close to him, kay Ato. Actually, kasi it's different. Mas more on sa college ka eh. Kasi sa PBA, it's different eh. After practice, you go your separate ways na. After game, you go separate ways. Not in college, talagang magkakasama kayo eh.
Or national team.
Yeah, national team yan. Magkasama. Yan, si Jerry was a good teammate. Such a funny guy. You want to be with him always. Kaya magandang kasama yan si Jerry. Nag-guest ba si Jerry dito, hindi pa? Baka ibang years. Ibang year.
Coming. Sana. Eventually. Sana. Yeah. That's it. So that's the 5. 5 na ba yun?
Parang 4 pa lang.
4 pa lang.
O 4 pa lang daw.
Yan, si Hector, yan ang mga kasama ko sa labas dati.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough, no? But it's tough at the same time. It's easy, no? For you guys kasi ang tagal nyo nagsama. So madaling bumunot ng names, ano? Para doon sa top 5. Then Noel, ikaw?
No, I'm
pahabol
good.
Ka?
I just want to say hello to your because yung wife ni Coach Franz is the De Guzmans have been a family friend of ours for a very long time. And my father, of course, was with Coach Franz also during their days sa Rotary. Yun. So that's how we became close to Coach Franz, especially pag election. Pag malapit na election, kaya na si Coach Franz. O Noel, may jiggy na tayo kailangan.
Bata ko, kaya lang kasama lang ako sa Rotary.
But normally also, before we end, si Noel always asks, usually, you ask, how would you like to be remembered, Coach Franz, as a player? You know, as a coach, you're a legend already. As a player, you know, how do you want the fans to remember Franz Pumaren?
Well, siguro ako, I must admit, hindi ako kasing athletic nung nila Johnny Abreu. So but one thing I can be proud of, siguro, I always play hard. I have this leadership role always because they trust me. And they always make, siguro, yun yung mga traits na gusto ko na I always impart also to my players.
Right.
Important is really, to play hard and try to be a leader not only inside the court but off the court.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's perfect actually. And then before we finally let you go, Coach Franz, is there anyone you'd like to thank or to acknowledge that was special to your help you throughout your entire career from the time you started back in picking up the balls for Tito Varela and Emer Legaspi until present, that you're still actively coaching the Adamson Falcons?
Well, siguro for me, syempre yung my parents, my dad, they didn't really force us to play basketball. They didn't even encourage us. It's just siguro because of my exposure and their support when I was starting. And lately, syempre, my family, my wife, now that I'm coaching, even when I was still playing, kasi hindi man it's always you're on the winning side. You need somebody to be with you in times of, when you're down, you're not winning, you're not being successful. So I guess that's the most important thing right now. And I'm so thankful with them. They're very supportive. And sa akin mga kasi, there's always life, there's always another game. Kaya hindi ako siguro masyado stress.
Galing. And of course, you so many things that you do, no? And you also have your political career and all of that, and family life and everything, and you're able to balance all of that. So it's been a great couple of hours chatting with you, Coach Franz Pumaren. Thank you for sharing your mga storya mo with us, your entire journey. No, it's nice to hear about how you started out picking up the basketballs, being a ball boy, and then eventually you became the superstar in the PBA, and then now into coaching as well. And you've touched a lot of lives because you've mentored so many young kids as well, no? As your players, and a lot of your players have become coaches themselves. They're trying to follow in your footsteps. I'm not sure who is the next Franz Pumaren among them, but we'll find out, I guess, no? As the days go on. So thank you so much, Coach Franz Pumaren, for joining us. To our followers here on Eternity of Basketball, it's been a great 2 hours with Coach Franz Pumaren. So many news stories. sa ngalan ni Sid Ventura at kay Noel Zarate, ang aking mga kasama rito sa AEOB, ito po ang episode 49 ng AEOB. Magsisingkwenta na po kami sa next episode. Ano ba mangyayari sa next episode natin, Noel? Meron bang? Ano ba mangyayari sa 50? May special something ba tayo?
Alam naman natin golden anniversary na dapat natin yung 50, pero pag-uusapan natin ang silver na nakamit 30 years ago. For episode 50, we will have some very special guests from the first ever dream team that was formed since open basketball was declared. Way before that 1992 Barcelona team, wala yun. May naunang dream team na galing sa Pilipinas composed of pros from the PBA in 1990 for the Beijing Asian Games, which captured the silver medal. And we will have some of them with us this coming Tuesday for episode 50. Balik na daw tayo sa 30th anniversary ng Beijing Asian basketball team. That's this coming Tuesday. Ang gandang episode po yan. You don't want to miss that.
Ayan. So we'll have that and then we'll announce it on our Facebook page. And once again, we'd like to thank Franz Pumaren. And we are now half century na coming up on Tuesday. Please join us for that. We love you guys who always follow us and keep tracks on what we're doing here on AEOB. Episode 49 is now in the books. Ako po si Charlie Cuna saying thank you, Coach Franz Pumaren, and thank you to everyone for watching. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's the NBA playoffs. And this year, everything has changed. As the whole world cheers from home, anything can happen. Get ready for the NBA's best. Competing like we've never seen before. For a chance to win it all. It's a whole new game. Watch the NBA playoffs live